Good morning, everyone. I want to start by asking you a simple question. What is the one thing that can change the course of your life, even in the face of overwhelming odds? The answer might surprise you. It's not talent, luck, or even the opportunities that come your way. It's something far more fundamental. It's belief. Belief in yourself. Believing in yourself is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, even the greatest talents wither in doubt. But with it, ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. Today, I want to share with you 5 essential truths about why believing in yourself is the single most powerful force you have and how you can harness it to transform your life. The very first step you take toward anything meaningful is often the hardest. Think about that moment, the moment when you stand on the edge of the unknown, unsure of what lies ahead. The ground beneath you feels unstable, the path unclear. It's natural to hesitate. Doubt creeps in. Fear whispers loudly in your ear, telling you to stay safe, to stay small, to stay comfortable. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the simple yet profound choice to believe in themselves, to trust that they are capable of more than what the fear tells them. Belief in yourself is the spark that ignites courage. It's not about having no fear. Courage doesn't mean you aren't afraid. Courage means you recognize the fear but decide that something else is more important, something greater. Maybe it's your dream, your purpose, your vision for a better life. It's the belief that the possibility of success, of growth, of transformation outweighs the risk of failure. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to start, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the path is dark. Take the story of J.K. Rowling, for example. Before her name was known around the world, before millions of children knew Harry Potter's name, she was a struggling single mother, living on welfare, battling depression. She had an idea, a story, but she also had no guarantees. She faced rejection after rejection from publishers who told her the story wouldn't sell, that it wasn't worth their time. She faced a world that doubted her, and yet somewhere deep inside, she believed in the value of her story, and more importantly, she believed in herself. That belief gave her the courage to persevere, to keep submitting her manuscript, to keep writing even when the odds were stacked against her. Imagine how easy it would have been to give up, to let fear and doubt win. But she didn't. She started. And that start was everything. This moment, the decision to take the first step, is the birthplace of every achievement. Every innovation, every work of art, every business started with someone believing they could. Without that belief, the first step never happens. You can have the best ideas, the greatest plans, the most talent in the world, but if you don't believe you're capable of starting, none of it matters. Belief is permission. It's permission to try, to fail, to learn, to grow, because the truth is, starting is messy. It's uncertain. It's uncomfortable. But it's the only way forward. When you believe in yourself, you accept that the discomfort is part of the process, and you embrace it. Courage to start also means accepting vulnerability. When you take that first step, you expose yourself to judgment, to failure, to the unknown. It's scary, but belief cushions the fear. It says, I am enough, and my worth isn't defined by what others think or by immediate success. That kind of self-trust transforms hesitation into action. Remember, courage is contagious. When you see someone take a bold step forward, it inspires you. It tells you it's possible. Believing in yourself isn't just an internal gift. It lights a fire around you, encouraging others to believe in themselves too. So what holds so many people back? It's the stories they tell themselves about who they are, what they deserve, or what they can achieve. These stories often come from outside voices, past failures, critical parents, unsupportive friends, society's expectations. But here's the secret. Those stories are just stories. They are not facts. They are not your destiny. Belief rewrites those stories. It shifts your mindset from I can't to what if I can, from I'm not ready to I will learn as I go. It changes the narrative inside your head from paralysis to possibility. Every great journey begins with a single step taken by someone who believed they could. They may have been scared, uncertain, or overwhelmed, but they believed. And because of that belief, they moved forward. And that forward motion built momentum that carried them through obstacles and setbacks. Belief in yourself is a muscle you can strengthen. The more you take that step, even a small one, the stronger your courage becomes. Each time you choose to begin, you silence the voice of doubt a little more. You prove to yourself that you are capable. You teach your mind and heart that fear won't hold you hostage. And here's the beautiful truth. The first step doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the right step. It just has to be a step. Because movement, any movement, is progress. It signals to the universe, and more importantly to yourself, that you are ready, you are willing, you believe. Belief is what makes the impossible possible. It turns dreams into plans and plans into action. Without belief, you remain stuck in the place where fear dominates. But with belief, you break free. You begin. So when you face that moment, the moment when the unknown looms large and the fear threatens to freeze you, remember this. Belief in yourself is the courage to start. It's the quiet but powerful force that says, I may be afraid, but I am willing. I will try. I will move forward. And in that willingness, you find your strength, you find your power, and you start the journey that only you can take. Let me talk to you straight. Life's not just going to hand you what you want. It's not going to roll out a red carpet because you've got dreams. No, life is going to test you. It's going to challenge you, bruise you, humble you. And yes, it's going to break you down sometimes. But here's the truth that separates those who keep standing from those who stay down. Belief. That quiet, unwavering fire burning inside. That belief in yourself, not just when things are going well, but when everything's falling apart. That's what gives you the strength to keep going. That's where real resilience is born. When the world tells you no, belief whispers, keep going. When you get knocked down so hard that you can't breathe, belief says, get back up. You can't fake it. You can't buy it. You can't borrow it. Belief is something you build day by day, brick by brick. Through every stumble, every scar, every you're not good enough, every you'll never make it, you keep going anyway. Why? Because deep down, you know there's something in you worth fighting for. Let me tell you something about failure. It's not the enemy. It's not the end. It's the teacher, the trainer, the mirror. You're going to fail a lot. You're going to hear no more than yes. You're going to fall on your face when everyone's watching. And that's exactly where your belief gets tested. That's where resilience is born. In the silence, in the doubt, in the grind that no one sees. Think about Thomas Edison. This man didn't just stumble into greatness. He failed, not once, not twice, 10,000 times. 10,000 times. Can you imagine having the grit, the heart, the belief to stand up 10,000 times and say, I'm not done yet? That's not just intelligence. That's not luck. That's belief. That's the kind of belief that turns disappointment into determination, that transforms rejection into resilience. See, belief isn't about arrogance. It's not about walking around like the world owes you something. It's the opposite. It's about humility. It's about facing your weaknesses head on, acknowledging your flaws and still choosing to rise. Because belief isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for permission. It's quiet. It's consistent. It's that voice inside that says, you can, you will, just one more step. Let's be honest. The world is quick to doubt, quick to criticize, quick to label you, box you in, tell you what you're not. Too young, too old, too inexperienced, too ambitious. And if you're not careful, you start believing them instead of yourself. You start shrinking, you start second guessing. That's why belief is so vital. Because sometimes it's all you have. Sometimes belief is the only thing standing between who you are and who you're meant to be. Now, I'm not here to tell you that belief makes it easy. No, it doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't erase the setbacks. But what it does, what makes it powerful, is that it gives you the strength to endure. It gives you the courage to persist when quitting feels like the only option. That's resilience, not the absence of struggle, but the ability to face it with conviction. Some of the strongest people I've met aren't the ones who won awards, who got standing ovations. They're the ones who kept going when no one was clapping, who kept pushing when the doors kept closing, who stood tall even when they were broken inside. That's strength. That's belief in motion. And that's what I'm talking about. Because let's be real, there are going to be moments in your life when everything feels heavy, when your dreams feel too far, when your heart's been broken. Your plans have failed and you're staring at the ceiling wondering, why am I still trying? In those moments, you have two choices. Give in to the doubt or lean into belief. One will drain you, the other will drive you. Choose belief. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only way forward. When you believe in yourself, failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It chisels away the fear. It sharpens your purpose. It builds a kind of toughness that no degree, no trophy, no applause can give you. The kind of toughness that doesn't quit, that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't flinch when life gets hard, and it will get hard. Belief builds character. It teaches you patience when you're overlooked. It gives you clarity when the path gets foggy. And above all, it teaches you that you don't need everyone to see the vision. Just you, showing up every day. You doing the work, you saying yes to yourself even when the world says no. That's where greatness begins. See, we live in a time where everyone wants overnight success, instant results, quick wins. But real resilience doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in resistance. It grows when you're down to nothing but that flicker of belief that says, try again and again and again. The truth is, life's going to hit you with storms you didn't see coming. Loss, rejection, betrayal, heartbreak. And while you can't always control what happens, you can control how you respond. That response, that fight, that faith, that fire, that comes from belief. Belief in who you are, belief in who you're becoming. And that belief, it becomes your anchor, your compass, your power source. It's what lets you rise up from rock bottom. It's what lets you walk into rooms where no one knows your name and still stand tall. It's what turns pain into purpose and scars into strength. So when life tries to break you, and it will, belief is what keeps you whole. I'm telling you, the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more resilience. More people willing to fail, fall, and still show up. More people who aren't afraid to try again, to dream bigger, to bet on themselves when no one else will. That's the kind of person who changes things. That's the kind of spirit that builds legacies. So I want to remember this, not when things are easy, but when they're hard, when you're tired, when you're alone, when you're discouraged. That's when you dig deep and pull from the well of belief. That's when you stand up, shake the dust off and say, not today, I'm not done. Because if you can hold on to belief, not just in the good times, but especially in the struggle, there is nothing that can keep you down. Not failure, not fear, not doubt, not rejection. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, more capable than you know. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the belief that you belong there. So keep the fire lit, keep pushing, keep rising, believe, and then believe again. Let me talk to you. Not just to your mind, but to your spirit, because this isn't about motivation. It's deeper than that. It's about something that decides everything else. It's about belief. What you believe about yourself, about your worth, about your potential, that is the foundation. That's the root. Because here's the truth. What you believe becomes your reality. It's not just words. It's not just some nice sounding philosophy. It's real. It's life altering. Your belief system isn't just in your head. It's in how you walk, how you talk, how you show up in the world. You can have talent, you can have skill, you can have opportunity. But if you don't believe you're worthy of it, if your mindset is working against you, you will find a way to sabotage it. You'll find a way to pull yourself down just when things are starting to rise. But flip that. If you believe you can grow, if you believe you can learn, if you believe you can change, then the limits start to fall away. Not all at once, not magically, but piece by piece. That's the power of belief. That's the power of mindset. See, the stories you tell yourself become the script you live by. If you tell yourself you're not enough, that you're not smart enough, strong enough, talented enough, guess what? That story becomes the soundtrack to your life. It plays in your head every time you're about to try something new, every time you're about to take a risk. And slowly, without even knowing it, you start shrinking. You start playing small. You stop even seeing the opportunities around you because your mind has already convinced you they're not for you. But if you flip the script, if you start telling yourself that you're capable, that you're resilient, that you're meant for something more, then your actions change. You walk into rooms with your head high. You face challenges with a different energy. You try and fail and try again because now Failure doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means I'm learning. That's the shift. That's where transformation begins. There was a study done with students. Maybe you've heard about it. They took two groups. One group believed intelligence was fixed. You're either born smart or you're not. The other group believed intelligence could be developed, that it was something you could grow through effort and learning. Now listen, these groups had the same background, same school, same age, but the outcomes, night and day. The students with the growth mindset outperformed the others. Not because they were smarter, but because they believed they could get smarter. That belief made them work harder. It made them bounce back from mistakes. It made them stick with it when things got tough. That right there is the power of mindset. It's not about pretending everything is easy. It's about knowing that even when it's hard, you've got what it takes to figure it out. That belief, that mindset becomes the engine that drives everything else. So what does that mean for you? It means you need to start paying attention to what you're telling yourself every day. Because belief is not passive. It's not something that just sits quietly in the background. It's active. It shapes your habits. It influences your relationships. It decides what risks you take, what dreams you chase, and how long you're willing to fight for them. If you believe the world is full of opportunity, you start to see doors where others see walls. If you believe your voice matters, you start speaking up. If you believe you can make a difference, you start moving different. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses. Suddenly you see what was always there, but hidden by doubt, by fear, by limitation. But belief doesn't come easy, especially if life has hit you hard, especially if you've been told you're not enough, especially if you've failed and fallen and had to crawl your way back. I know what that feels like. I know how hard it is to rebuild your confidence when everything around you feels shaky. But listen, that's when belief matters most. Not when everything's perfect, not when the sun is shining and the path is clear. Belief matters when it's dark, when you're uncertain, when you don't know how, but you show up anyway. That's the kind of belief that builds empires, that changes lives. People ask, how do I build that belief? You build it by showing up every day, even when it's hard. You build it by choosing to see yourself not as finished, but as growing. You build it by speaking life into your own story, even when your circumstances are shouting the opposite. And you build it by surrounding yourself with voices that lift you up, not tear you down. Because who and what you let into your mind, that's fuel, that's programming. Feed it right. Here's the thing. You don't get to choose where you start in life. You don't get to pick your circumstances. Some people are born into advantage. Some are born into struggle. But what you do get to choose is your mindset. What you do get to choose is what you believe about yourself every single day. That's the great equalizer. That's the thing no one can take from you, not poverty, not failure, not rejection. As long as you believe, you've still got power. As long as you believe, you've still got potential. So when life gets loud, when the world starts telling you who you are and what you can't do, you turn inward. You listen to that quiet voice that says, I'm still here. I still matter. I still believe. And then you act from that place. You push from that place. Because belief is not just a feeling. It's a choice. It's a decision you make over and over again, sometimes through tears, sometimes through pain, sometimes with shaking hands. But you make it. And every time you do, you take back your power. Belief isn't about being delusional. It's not pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's about being honest about where you are, but still holding on to where you can be. It's about saying, yeah, I'm struggling right now, but I'm not staying here. I'm moving forward. I'm growing. I'm learning. I'm evolving. That's strength. That's courage. So I ask you, what are you believing about yourself right now? Is it lifting you or limiting you? Because belief is a lens. It colors everything you see. If your belief is cloudy, the whole world looks dark. But if your belief is clear, if your mindset is rooted in growth and possibility and strength, then even in the struggle, you find light, you find opportunity, you find the next step. This is your life. This is your story. Don't let anyone else write it for you. Don't hand over your pen to fear, to doubt, to the past. Take it back. Start rewriting your narrative. Start telling yourself a different story. One where you're not the victim. One where you're not stuck. One where you are the author, the architect, the builder of your own future. Because once you start believing, really believing that you can, the world changes. Not because the world changes, but because you do. Your eyes open, your heart opens, your will strengthens. You stop waiting for permission and start creating your own opportunities. You stop hoping someone sees you and you start seeing yourself. That's how belief shapes your reality. It doesn't make the road easy, but it makes the road yours. Walk it with purpose, walk it with fire, walk it with belief. Let's talk about something real, not hype, not ego, truth, belief. The kind of belief that doesn't just sit quietly inside your chest, but moves through the air around you. The kind that becomes energy, momentum, power. Because belief, real belief, doesn't stay locked up. It spreads, it reaches, it inspires. When you believe in yourself, I mean, truly, deeply believe, not for show, not for applause, that belief sends out ripples. It touches people. It lifts them. It opens their eyes to something inside themselves they didn't even know was there. Believing in yourself, that's not just for you. That's leadership. That's legacy. It starts with you, yes. You've got to go first. You've got to stand up and say, I believe I have something to offer. I believe I can do something great. I believe I can rise even after I fall. You've got to say it with your life, not just your lips. Because people are always watching. Your kids, your friends, your team, your community. They see you push through the hard days. They see you keep going when the odds are stacked against you. They see you rise after heartbreak, after failure, after loss. And when they do, something in them rises too. That's what belief does. It unlocks doors, not just for you, but for others. You ever walk into a room and feel the energy change because someone walks in with purpose, with conviction, with quiet, steady confidence? That's belief in motion. And when people witness it, they start to wonder, what if I believed like that? What if I stopped doubting myself? What if I reached higher? That's the ripple. That's the effect. Think about leaders, not the ones who shout the loudest or wear the biggest titles, but the ones who lead with heart, the ones who believe so strongly in their vision, in their mission, in their people, that it becomes impossible not to believe too. They don't have to demand loyalty. Their belief creates loyalty. They don't have to convince people to follow. People want to follow. Because when someone truly believes, it makes the impossible seem possible. So when someone truly believes, it makes the impossible seem possible. It lifts the ceiling, it redefines the limits. Now think about Malala, just a girl in a place where girls were told to stay quiet, to stay hidden, to stay afraid. But she believed. She believed in something bigger than her fear, bigger than the bullets, bigger than the silence. She believed she had the right to learn. And in that belief, she changed more than just her own future. She lit a fire across the world, a movement, a call to action. Because one voice rooted in belief can echo across continents. You see, belief is not about position, it's about posture. It's about how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. It's about how you speak life when others are drowning in doubt. It's about the light in your eyes when the world expects you to give up. That light becomes a signal. That light becomes a message to everyone watching. You can make it too. But don't get it twisted. Belief isn't loud. It doesn't have to make a scene. It doesn't need applause. Sometimes it looks like showing up every single day when quitting would be easier. Sometimes it looks like taking that first step into the unknown and daring to say, I don't know what's ahead, but I'm moving forward anyway. That quiet courage, that's what inspires. That's what changes lives. You might not think your story matters. You might think, who am I to inspire anyone? But what if I told you someone is already watching you? What if I told you that just by believing in yourself, you might give someone else permission to believe in themselves too, that your perseverance, your journey, your comeback, it might be the blueprint someone else needs to rise. Because belief is never contained. It's energy, and energy spreads. You bring belief into a room and it changes the temperature. People start standing a little taller, speaking a little bolder, dreaming a little bigger. That's not coincidence. That's influence. And I'll tell you this, true leadership is rooted in belief, not belief in control, not belief in power, belief in people, in potential, in what's possible, even when it's never been done before. When a leader believes in the vision, it fuels the team. But when a leader believes in the people, it transforms the team. That's where the magic happens. That's where people start becoming more than they thought they could be. This applies to all of us, not just CEOs, not just presidents, not just famous names, parents, teachers, coaches, friends, mentors, big brothers and sisters. You've got influence. You've got impact. Your belief can spark someone's turning point. It can plant a seed that grows into a future they never imagined. So ask yourself, what are you standing for? What are you speaking into the lives around you? Are you building people with your belief, or are you shrinking them with your silence? Because this world doesn't need more doubters. It doesn't need more critics. It needs believers. It needs people who see the best in others and say, I see something in you, let's bring it out. That's what changes communities. That's what breaks generational cycles. That's what lifts nations. We all want to leave a mark. We all want to be remembered. But the most powerful legacy isn't built with money or fame. It's built with belief, with the lives you touch, the hope you spread, the courage you awaken in others, just by showing them what belief looks like in action. Every time you believe in yourself, you give someone else a reason to believe. That's a gift. That's a responsibility. That's the ripple effect. Let it start with you. Let it echo through everything you do. Let your belief light a path others didn't know was there, and let them walk it with strength they didn't know they had. Let's talk about truth, the kind that doesn't change with trends, that doesn't shift with opinions, the kind of truth that lives deep down in your bones. You see, belief in yourself isn't just about chasing success or hitting goals. It's about something far more powerful. It's about owning who you are, owning your story, your scars, your light, your voice in a world that's constantly trying to tell you who to be, what to wear, how to talk, how to live. It takes real courage to stand tall and say, this is me. That courage comes from belief, not surface level confidence, not performance, but belief, real grounded belief in your own worth, your own path, your own truth. There's so much noise out here. Social media, opinions, expectations, it's everywhere. You scroll through a feed and suddenly feel like you're not doing enough, not rich enough, not beautiful enough, not successful enough. The world's got a way of making you feel like you've got to fit in a box just to be seen. But here's the truth. There is no freedom in pretending. There is no peace in performance. There is only weight, pressure. And eventually that pressure crushes your spirit unless you believe, unless you decide that being you is not only enough, it's powerful. Belief is the key that unlocks authenticity. And authenticity, that's your superpower. That's what sets you apart. See, we spend so much time trying to be accepted, trying to measure up, trying to get applause from rooms that don't even see us. But the moment you start believing in your value, the need for all that noise begins to fade. You stop needing validation. You stop begging for approval. You stop chasing love in places that were never meant to hold it. And instead, you start standing in your truth fully and unapologetically. And when you do that, when you show up as the real you, something amazing happens. You start connecting with people on a deeper level. You build relationships that are rooted in honesty, not performance. You walk into rooms not trying to impress, but trying to impact. Because people can feel it. They can feel when you're being real, when you're walking in alignment, when your outside matches your inside. And that kind of presence, that kind of authenticity, it doesn't just change how people see you. It changes how they see themselves. See, authenticity is not perfection. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being real with your questions. It's about being honest with your struggles. It's about knowing your worth even when the world is telling you otherwise. That's what belief does. It gives you the courage to show up not as a version of yourself you think people want, but as you. Whole, flawed, growing, enough. And that's not always easy. It's easier to blend in. It's easier to put on the mask, to play the part. But let me tell you something. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs originals. It needs people brave enough to say, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I stand for. It needs people who are done hiding, done pretending, done shrinking. And belief is what makes that possible. Think about what Steve Jobs said. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. That's not just a quote. That's a wake-up call. Because too many people are out here running someone else's race. chasing someone else's dream, living under someone else's expectations. And they wonder why they feel empty, lost, disconnected. It's because they're not living their life. They're living a version of life someone else handed them. But when you believe in yourself, really believe, you begin to make choices that reflect who you are, not what they expect, not what they demand, but what's true to you. That kind of life, it's rare, but it's powerful, because once you get a taste of living in alignment with who you really are, you stop settling for less. You stop compromising your values just to fit in. You stop watering yourself down so others feel comfortable. And instead, you begin to rise, you begin to inspire, you begin to lead, not with your image, but with your integrity. And here's the beautiful part. When you live in your truth, you give others permission to do the same. You create space for people to take off their masks, to stop pretending, to start healing. That's the ripple effect of belief. That's the impact of authenticity. It spreads, it uplifts, it transforms. So no, belief in yourself isn't just about personal gain. It's not just about reaching the top or proving people wrong. It's about unlocking your voice. It's about honoring your journey. It's about showing up in this world fully awake, fully alive, fully you. That's where your power lives. Not in the image you project, but in the truth you embody. So if you're tired of trying to be someone you're not, if you're worn out from carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations, I'm telling you now, it's time. Time to believe in the one person who's been with you through it all. Time to look in the mirror and say, I choose me. Time to trust that who you are is not just enough. It's exactly what the world needs. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. And the only way to get there is through belief. So what does it take? What does it really take to believe in yourself? Not the kind of belief you post about online, not the kind of belief that comes and goes depending on who's clapping for you. I'm talking about deep down, rock solid belief. The kind that stays with you when it's just you in the silence. The kind that shows up when no one else does. The kind that holds you steady when the world around you is shaking. That kind of belief, it takes something. It takes practice. It takes patience. But more than anything else, it takes a decision. A decision to trust that you are enough, that you are worthy, you're worthy of your dreams, worthy of your goals, worthy of your own greatness. That's the truth most people run from, because it's easier to blame circumstances. It's easier to wait for someone else to say, now you're ready. But the ones who rise, the ones who change their lives and touch the lives of others, they don't wait. They decide. They decide that their past will not define them. They decide that their failures won't be final. They decide that their dreams deserve a shot, even if they're scared, even if they're tired, even if nobody else gets it. That's where it begins. Not with perfection, not with applause, with a decision. Every step you take toward your calling will be met with resistance. That's just how life works. You'll face doubt. You'll face setbacks. You'll face the voice in your own head telling you that you're not enough. But belief doesn't mean those voices disappear. It means you stop listening to them. You stop giving them the final word. You choose to show up anyway. You choose to persist. You choose to grow. You may fall. You may stumble. You may even fail. But you do it on the path that was meant for you, not someone else's version of success, not someone else's idea of what you should be. That's what belief gives you. It gives you the courage to live your own life, to walk your own road, to write your own story. And when you do that, you give others permission to do the same. Don't ever think that believing in yourself is selfish. It's not. Because belief isn't just for you. It's for the people around you too. It's for the ones who are watching, the ones who need to know that it's possible, the ones who are waiting for someone to go first. You may not even realize it, but your belief could be the spark that lights someone else's fire. Your courage could be the sign someone's been praying for. Your journey could be the mirror that helps someone else see themselves more clearly. That's why belief matters. Not because it guarantees an easy life. It doesn't, but because it gives you strength when life gets hard. It gives you clarity when things feel foggy. And it gives you resilience when everything in you wants to quit. That's what sets you apart. Not how many times you win, but how many times you refuse to give up. There will always be reasons to doubt, reasons to play small, reasons to settle. But belief says, I've come too far to stop now. Belief says, this dream is mine and I'm going to see it through. Belief says, I don't need anyone else to say I'm enough. I already know. So don't wait for perfect. Don't wait until the fear goes away. Don't wait until it's easy. Start now. Start where you are. Start messy. Start unsure, but start with belief and keep going with belief, because when you carry belief into everything you do, you carry power. You carry purpose. You carry the ability to move mountains, to change lives, to transform this world one moment, one decision, one step at a time. Believe in yourself. Not just once, not just when it's convenient, but every day, through every high, through every low, through every storm. Believe until it becomes your way of life. Because when you do, there is nothing you can't rise above. Thank you.